G's lawyers would be willing to defend them if they decide to go through with their case. Or, if, excuse me, that's phrased incorrectly. If they try and come after them. Yeah, let's check it out.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the $10 million studio. Let me say up top, this investigation
He's tier
will
1 red
contain
Pac-Man.
potential money laundering, unregulated offshore gambling, and worst of all, influencers.
This is $1 million video. I just realized I spent $600,000 on watches. I lost $200,000 to 6ix9ine, $60,000 in private planes, $20,000 on hotels in Mexico, $100,000 on Rolex and cars. It feels good to be a winner.
This is the first in a 6-part series in collaboration with Some Ordinary Gamers.
I know both of those,
exposing the
Wojtek.
secret world of unregulated offshore crypto gambling and how influencers have become filthy rich by being the gasoline on the fire, promoting it around the world and making it into the billion-dollar phenomenon it is globally. Now, I'll be honest, when I first started looking at this, I had no idea about any of that. The reason I'm actually here starts off the way all great stories start, with Twitter beef.
Let's go!
Right, here's how this went down. I had been hearing for a while about how online, unregulated crypto casinos were hiring some of the biggest influencers in the world to promote them, and then would pay them for every fan they got to sign up. And not only that, every time their fans would lose money to the casino, the influencer would make a cut on those losses.
That's fucking crazy.
And I said, enough's enough. It's time to act. So
There's no way.
Just found out that the top gambling streamers are getting paid a percentage of their signups losses. So not only are streamers getting paid,
holy shit, that's insane.
They're literally incentivized for their fans to lose as much as possible. How do these people sleep at night? Now, normally I expect my tweets to go into the great void of Jack's armpit, but this time I guess one of those gambling streamers actually saw it and he responded. Steve will do it. Now, I can't imagine why he felt singled out.
I saw that tweet. I saw that tweet.
Off that I would accuse him of profiting.
The dude's super dumb. Like, he's super dumb.
Me, hey, you broke moron. Do your research. Roobet's affiliate program has nothing to do with losing. It's about the bet. Roobet is different than other gambling websites. Do your research, you broke moron, before you post like this publicly. Given his thoughtful response, I thought, hey, maybe I made a mistake. So I went back and checked Roobet's affiliate terms, and it turns out he's right. Roobet doesn't give influencers a percentage of their fans' losses. Roobet gives
that's crazy.
A percentage of the mathematical odds of their fans losing. This is straight from Roobet's page. Affiliates receive a commission
holy shit.
of 5% of the mathematical house edge on all their referrals wagers, with that percentage increasing as the referrer climbs the tiers. And if you're thinking right now, wow, that sounds like basically exactly the same thing. It is the exact same thing.
I can't fucking believe it.
It's kind of clever, actually, because now, instead of being directly tied to their fans'
that's
losses,
so much
they're
money.
Innocent. They're still profiting from their fans, but, you know, in that indirect economic percentage sort of way. It's kind of like saying, no, I didn't bomb those Syrian kids. I just sent the drone that did. It's the exact same thing. It just sounds a little bit better. But anyways, we fired back and forth a few times. He eventually deleted his responses. But something he said always stuck with me. And no, it wasn't the part about him sleeping very well at night, living in a penthouse, knowing that I change people's lives every day, and I'm rich. Do your research, which is why this series now exists. And Steve will do it legally, can't be mad about it, because technically, he's the one who asked for this. So, yeah, Steve, this one's for you. Now, I want to be clear.
Hey, amen, Steve.
A small sense of
Let's go.
is not why I'm telling you this story today.
Easy tier
it
1.
is a small reason.
Scott,
okay?
Christopher, and Resub Victory Power.
It would have never carried me through this investigation, which had so many dead ends. What actually hooked me and kept me going on this investigation was a single question. How is this video possible? It shouldn't exist. To explain what I mean, let's go to the board, because I got to explain a little more about Steve will do it for a little
Easy tier 1 king in the prime food
Steve is a
stamp.
member of Nelk, an insanely popular YouTube channel known for their pranks, like trying to use Monopoly money at a casino. Kind of weird foreshadowing, to be honest. But they generally make fun, popular videos with a lot of money being thrown around. Cars being gifted, partying, that kind of thing. But the money I was seeing thrown around, specifically
tier 1 Harry
Steve
Butts.
will do its videos, was
Thanks to the
too
bits.
much. It didn't make any sense. Like, every video, it was private jets, buying exotic cars, giving away hundreds of thousands of dollars. And going off my experience with YouTube, I knew something was off.
That didn't.
See,
Okay,
remember
that
that
just
video I
doesn't
mentioned,
work.
the $1 million one? It only had 4.3 million views. And in that video, he really does spend $1 million.
This is a $1 million video, I just realized.
By contrast, the only other YouTuber in the world...
What are his
I know that
tattoos
can-
on his hand? Was that a... Is that a can of purple Flurp? Is this guy like a big Jimmy Neutron fan or something? Each one of the... No... What, is that PBR? A PBR can? An ocarina or a water jug or something? What the fuck is this? This dude, he must have lost a bet or something on the channel. This shit is trash. And then the ball from Rugrats surrounded by a crosshair, like a hollow sight. It is PBR? Okay, thought so.
Only other YouTuber in the world I know of that can afford that kind of spending is Mr. Beast, who regularly gets 50+ million views on a video.
Thanks
and
for
there's
resub, yes.
always
The
a
Prime
sponsor on
Fire
those videos
Beard.
to recoup some of that cost. But here's the weird thing. On Steve's video, with 10 times fewer views, there's no sponsor. And that's how so many of his videos are. He's throwing around money like Mr. Beast, but he has a fraction of the views, and he's not sponsored. So it begs the question, where's this massive cash flow coming from? Is Steve Will Do It the son of a Saudi prince? Like, this dude seems to have endless amounts of cash, oil baron amounts of cash. And at first, I thought, okay, wait a second, Happy Dad, their new alcohol company, right? It can't be that, because this
That's what it
spending
is.
predates that. Well, maybe it's merch then. That's the Nelk Boys thing, right? They pull in $70 million a year selling their merch. Maybe selling hats is how Steve affords to live like the son of a president. And I would have thought that, but right as I was about to give up, someone gave me a helping hand on a drunken live stream. Let's bring down the board here.
I have figured out other ways to make money. So I'm not big because I feel like a baller right now. I don't take private planes. I don't buy $300,000 watches.
He's so
I
humble.
don't buy whatever. But today I just bought a $200,000 Sprinter.
Oh, okay.
I don't do that. I'm selling T-shirts, dude. It's actually impossible.
He's just like us.
Figured out I've gotten financial advice, this and that from my two buddies. They've helped me out. So it's like they own WizUp. So it's like they've helped me make so much money to where I don't even want anything.
Wow. When I saw this,
Very
I thought to
articulate.
myself, is this guy confessing? He talks about getting financial advice from someone that changed his life. Like, from who? Who is it, Steve? Help us. Is it Warren Buffett? Did you get advice from Max Kaiser?
He's a tier 1
I mean, honestly,
Ecker boy.
from the way he's talking, whatever this
Hey,
magical
congrats on the new
financial
house and the
advice
upcoming
is,
marriage, Philbo.
it dwarfs
Congratulations.
Nelk's merch business.
I can't
wonderful.
do that. I'm selling T-shirts, dude. It's actually impossible.
So what
He's a bit
is
juicer
this
and Torchlight.
financial secret? What is this
Knowledge.
And yeah, go
Immediately,
for
I
it,
started
Torchlight.
hunting around. At first, I couldn't find much. Just more evidence that Steve Will Do It, of all people, is more loaded than possibly any other YouTuber in the world right now. Just watch this answer to a question about finances from Steve-O's podcast.
What is your mission?
To be a billionaire.
You're gonna be a billionaire.
All right.
To be a billionaire, yep.
Do you have a timeline for that?
He's a pretty smart guy. He can probably do
5
it.
years?
Damn.
What? Wait a second. 3 to 5 years? He's not even saying that ironically or as a joke. He's like, yeah, what, 3 to 5 years? I don't know. I mean, whatever secret way he's talking about making money earlier, the kind of wealth that's impossible.
If anyone deserves it,
selling
it's
merch.
it's
That
Steve
must
Will
be
Do It.
What we're missing here, the missing link. And I wasn't making much progress finding out how he was doing it. I realized I had to focus up. I got to set my ego aside. I got to make a change. There we go. I'm finally ready. What happened next
Here's the
was
prime
kind of hard
Paps.
to stomach. I spent the next several days watching enough Steve Will Do It content to make my eyes bleed. But finally, all my work
That's a
paid off.
privilege
I
right there.
finally found the episode
Get to
where
watch Steve Will Do
once
It
again mentions his
and
friend
get to
who made him so
learn.
much money.
Alfonso has helped me a lot, with some financial like making good financial moves, money moves. I'm forever grateful for him, and I'm gonna gift him a Richard Mille. It's so unique. He has a bunch of Richard Milles, but this one's like it's like a unique one.
Okay, so we actually learned something here. One, this
He's some Tennessee dude and
Alfonso
saltiest
guy,
boy.
Steve's special friend who helped him.
probably based.
He
Depends
must
on the
be
video.
loaded, right? Because if he has a collection of Richard Mille watches that regularly cost hundreds of thousands of dollars individually, a collection would mean he's at least worth several $1 million minimum. Now at this point, I'm imagining several different possible candidates for this mentor of
These are
Steve.
two gift subs, that one
Obviously,
guy.
Ty Lopez being the first one. But I was completely wrong. The financial wizard behind the curtain is shockingly young.
So this is Alfonso.
I was expecting it to be a child.
This guy?
I thought it was
He
gonna be
looks
like a
your
14-year-old.
average frat bro in his mid-20s.
Here's
But even
Alfonso.
That was like breaking my brain.
just started 8th
Things
grade?
started to make even less sense. Pay attention to what he calls Alfonso just a bit later in this clip. I'm going to let it play for a bit.
And this is Doom. 100% of the time, 365 days of the year, he wears a full send / Steve will do it / Happy Dad shirt. And Alan, 90.
Whoa. Did you catch that? He calls him
Alan! And Alan,
and he does it again later too.
this is Alan's beautiful girlfriend.
Alan again. Why would
Interesting.
Steve Will Do It mislabel his friend. To find out, I called up a friend of mine who's been digging into this, the third eye himself.
This is so cute.
Because we need to get to the bottom
I like
of
this.
who this mystery man is. Philion, thanks so much for taking the time. I know you've been looking into this. Who is this Alfonso guy? Or Alan, whoever.
He owns It Works.
All right, so I tracked it all down. His name is Alan. He's a 25-year-old multi-millionaire running the Los Angeles social media scene. He owns both Roobet and Wizza. You know Roobet, right?
Yeah, it's that online casino that Steve Will Do It and all those guys are gambling on, right?
Exactly, except it's offshore, unregulated, cryptocurrency
Good work,
based,
Philion.
and it's not legal in the US. And they are raking in tens of millions of dollars per month.
Oh my gosh. Wait a second. You're saying Alan owns that along with Wizza as well?
Yep.
Those are some big accusations. How
Thank
do
you,
you know
Subsonic
it's
and
this like
Taken
frat
Mage
bro
and
behind it
Monado
all? He doesn't have his name
and
on it,
Warmist.
right?
Well, he does have Roobet's name on himself. He's quite literally got a tattoo of it on his wrist, which he showcases above his Richard Mille, you know, the $500,000 watches.
You know, all the one that all the 25-year-olds own.
Yeah. I mean, I got two of them, but I got them also on the transitive property of Aiden Ross.
Wait, what do you mean? You got a clip for that or something?
Of course, let's roll it.
This house is sponsored by a company called like Wizza or some shit. I haven't
What?
done it all, but I could do. And if you guys can, you guys could literally help me come up with giveaways.
If you're a
like,
company,
challenges, like-
if you're a company and you work with Aiden Ross, you're fucking dumb. He doesn't even know his sponsors. This is sponsored by Chick-fil-A or some shit. I don't fucking know. You should. And then he like rolls over on you. So he like went on stream and he's like, "Hey guys, you remember that like MILF token or something I told you to buy? It was actually just a scam." Like if you pay Aiden Ross to advertise your shit, you deserve the crash and burn 100%. God damn, the fucking company buys his house and they can't even remember their name.
last person to blah 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 gets blah 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 blah. Like I can literally promote it how I want to do it, how we want to do it. You guys can help me decide. Like, yo, Aiden, you should do a giveaway where you're doing this. They're actually really cool dudes, bro, and they're just like me. Like they own Roobet, they own that site, right?
Not only that, Roobet's Rocket Fund LLC is also registered to the exact same address
Hey,
as the
Reese,
Wizza
Void in
Sweepstakes
Phoenix.
LLC, which is 930 Washington
Hey, well, thank
Avenue,
you,
Suite
Ecker. I appreciate
205,
it, man, and welcome.
Miami 33139.
Holy sh!
Thanks for some Space Joker
It
and
is
the Prime
same
Reborn.
guys. So when Steve will do it
Resub
talking
Pincer.
about his friend who owns Wizza helping him out financially in life, he's talking about Roobet?
Yep, he's talking about Alan. And not only that, this guy Alan used to be part of the CSGO
Oh,
gambling
no
scene back in the day
fucking
under the
way!
name Arrow 1738 until he shut down his YouTube channel with 40,000 subscribers.
Let's
And
go.
now,
It all
since
comes
then, he's
back
tried
to
stay in his
CSGO
own.
gambling.
It's the same scam all over again.
Exactly.
All right, I know that's been a lot, so we're going to recap real quick. So Steve Will Do It is like insanely loaded because of this guy whose name is Alfonso, but not Alfonso because that's actually an alias. His name is Alan, and he owns a sketchy giveaway company called Wizza, but
Thanks,
also
Resub Reskov.
Roobet, which is an online
I'm
gambling
very well
casino,
aware, Ramp.
which obviously gives us some
Thanks,
context
Prime
to why
Stale
Steve Will Do
meme
It is
and Resub
defending
Owen.
Roobet so hard on Twitter. This is his golden goose. This is
Re-
where his
Resub Wire
money
Nuts.
is coming from. In fact, remember that $1 million video? I think we finally have the answer to that. It may not have been sponsored, but watching it again, there definitely was a sponsor in that video. This is definitely our guy. He's the reason for this lavish spending. But I also realized that this story might be bigger than just Steve. Yes, he's loaded. And I'm determined to find out how much money he's making from getting his fans to gamble at offshore, unregulated casinos. But there are many other influencers also promoting Roobet. You've got Nelk, Aiden Ross, Logan Paul's friend, Banks, and you also got Wizza. How does that play into this sketchy giveaway company? And what about Alfonso? There's just so much.
I don't know a whole lot about Roobet. I've heard the name before. Hold on. I feel like they sent me an email pretty recently. Let me see. Give me 1 second. I've definitely seen it on Twitter because of his beef. Yeah, oh, I do have a Roobet offer. Let's see. Like, I don't know how someone reads this and is like, yeah, I'm fucking on. Like, in their promotional offer to me, they say, rather than being a game based on luck, we are a skill-based trading competition where Earthlings trade the coin to compete for $1 million in winnings. Like, the ship will depart in the end of Earth's July, with an engine too powerful for its own good. The flight can only last somewhere between 15 to 18 days. We'll fly for as long as we can. We don't exactly know when it'll crash. Throughout that period, we'll be pulling incremental amounts of liquidity to secure competitors' winnings. When the liquidity runs out, we will sift through the wreckage, find our survivors, and reward them with cold, hard $BUSD. Total winnings distributed will be decided by the volume of liquidity secured at the time of the crash, and winners will be vetted for authenticity. Yeah, it doesn't tell me shit. That's just weird. Like, I don't know, like, what the fuck does any of that mean? Like, I actually feel like I'm being scammed in their own promotional opportunity that they email me. He's a Tier 1 Wicked Games and Tier 1 Nacho the Dead, and give sub Berserker and resub Papa John Destroyer. Do you think Alan wrote this himself? Thanks to the bits Forsaken again, and yeah, you're not wrong. Thanks to the resub Alex and the Prime Armature, and the resub Infected Cloud and Tyler. Yeah, I definitely thought I had gotten an email from him. And I did. Or at least someone that's claiming to represent them. I guess. Well, it could not be them.
Here, I think I gotta make a call.
Just catching up on a new scam kill command.
All right, Mood, I'm passing this off to you. We need to do more research about Roobet. How does it work? How do you get paid? What's going on with all these LA influencers?
Oh, brother, I'm already on it. Look at this. Look at the stuff I already found.
Wait, what the hell is this?
Yo, Aiden, can you show me how to hop like a kangaroo while he's iced? Bro, why do you want me to do that, Howie? You're fucking weird as fuck, bro.
Damn, okay.
Alright, now I'm gonna watch Mudas. Thanks to the resub Warden Unit and Kizzy. True, Japin. True. So I don't think this is illegal, right? Oh, it is. It's very illegal. What the fuck do you mean? Alright, I'm down to do 50 minutes on this. Now I'm pretty invested. Thanks to resub Quantum. In the bits Alamortis.
Hello, guys and gals. Me, Muda.
I'm not sure if I've seen that, Teller.
Watch the first part of this video. Not on my channel, on my good friend CoffeeZilla's channel. If you don't know him, you probably remember him from like 2 months ago when we looked at Save the Kids Together, which was an absolutely bombastic time together. Since then, we've been working on Roobets for months, and we've basically sort of learned blockchains and various new technologies over and over again. Our investigation game has gone a step higher, if I must say. Now remember, this is part 2 of 6 in a series.
God,
the first part
Forsaken,
is on
thank you
Coffee's
so
channel.
much,
To
man, for the
understand
20 gift
just
subs.
to recap his prior video,
Really appreciate it. Thank
Coffee
you, bro.
basically looked at an influencer known as Steve Will Do It. Various influencers.
Are you sponsored by
involved in this
Roobet Forsaken?
Now, Steve Will Do It had
Been
a
throwing
weird
around some fat
discrepancy
stacks
regarding
tonight,
how much
man.
cash
Thank
he was
you.
possibly making versus how much cash that he was absolutely burning. Now, what's more important in this is the character known as Alan. Now, in Coffee's video, he looked at Alan, and another investigator jumped in called Fillion, who basically looked and sort of broke this story out initially. Now, Fillion basically linked Alan, who is this character, who Steve Will Do It himself credits in the video as Alfonso. Except that may not be the real name in this situation, because Steve himself in the same video refers to Alfonso.
I already tried Volume
as
Booster.
Alan.
It's not
Fun
working.
fact about Alfonso and Doom: 100% of the time, 365 days of the year, he wears
So I
a
can't
full
turn it up.
send / Steve Will Do It / Happy Dad shirt. And Alan,
Please resub def text.
Literally within the same sentence, points at the guy, switches names. No cuts in the video, by the way. That's the raw video you're looking at. Alan has also been tied to Wizza through his social media profile where he says, I make cool websites, www.wizza.com. Alan himself has also been linked to a
He's a prime
CSGO gambling circuit way back
Shogun
in the
Eye?
day from years ago. Through this Twitter
Phantom
account.
Bow?
Now,
You
if
can check
we're
it out.
using the Alan Wizza connection here, Aiden Ross jumps in as what I would like to call, basically at this point, a secret informant, because during a live
Thank you to
stream,
give subs Blue
he
and the
uttered
3K
this out,
bits
where he
Forsaken.
said that
Jesus
the
Christ,
owner
man.
of Wizza, who sponsors his house, is also the owner of Roobet.
This house is sponsored by a company called like Wizza or some shit. I haven't paid rent at all, but I could do. And if you guys could literally help me come up with giveaways, like challenges and like last person to blah 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 gets blah 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 blah. Like I could literally promote it how I want to do it, how we want to do it. You guys can help me decide. Like, hey, you should do a
Big
giveaway where
Hoss,
you're doing
Keeling
this.
Anime, and
They're actually
Fraggle.
really cool dudes, bro. And they're just like me. Like they own Roobet, they own that site, right?
In fact, even Steve Will Do It, when he was dealing with luxury timepieces, decided to actually leave this in one of the videos that he was working or collaborating with. Listen closely.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I paid 60.
Oh, this one's super nice.
But so my buddy gifted me
Roobet.
that. So now
You gotta love the beep after the Roobet. Talk about an editing error. But this watch, I swear I've seen it somewhere.
one of my best buddies gave me this iced out watch, and it's badass and shit. But the reason why I bought that one is because I want this iced out watch to be like in display, like in here, like a museum. It sits there, like from Alfonso LLC.
You know, if I'm not mistaken, those
Nah,
look
they're
like
different.
the same watch. But in the first clip, he nods to the idea of Roobet, you know? But in the second clip, he just blatantly said Alfonso. So this
I
guy,
can't. I've tried
honestly,
cranking
he
out
keeps
as much as I
messing up the
can.
names. Listen to this whole clip here, and you'll
Maybe
hear it for
5K bits
yourself. He
straight.
keeps
Jesus,
using
man,
the
thank
name
you.
Alan, and then like
you
literally
try.
5 seconds later, Roobet gets mentioned.
I got ripped off extremely.
What'd you
on
pay?
this.
30?
No. We don't even want to talk about it.
What does Steve
Let me
Will
see.
Do It
I got
do?
ripped off extremely.
Seems
so
like
then
he
my
just
buddy, where's my
complains about spending
my
money.
buddy, my friend,
While
Alan,
spending
who saw
money.
yesterday, he gifted me this. I won't ever wear that because
Yeah.
I got ripped off and I hate it.
He just
So
drinks?
whenever I found out I did,
You
I
paid over 30.
yeah.
I've watched Nelk before, but I don't think I've
I
ever
already told
seen
you this.
Steve Will Do It.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
At least I don't remember
So
him.
I paid 60.
Oh, this one's super nice.
But so my buddy gifted me.
Roobet.
I really do want to hear the explanation to all of that. Some of you may have also heard of the name Matt Dua flying around on the internet from articles as of last year where he was credited as the integrations
bit, Sean.
director at Roobet. So there's a few people
No,
involved.
not usually, sir.
Now,
No.
these links are important indeed, but they're going to play a lot of importance towards part 5 and part 6 when we finish this series off. Because trust me, the connections are huge. Now, this part is for the T channels real quick. I wanted to show them what actual reporting looks like. Ladies and gentlemen, we got in touch with the teams over at Wizza, and really at the end of the day, no matter what in these videos, we want to provide the most sides of the audience that we actually can, okay? We want to give you the most facts that you can deal with to make a conclusion for yourself. There's no real gain for
That's
us
no
to
fun.
paint
Tell me what
things
to
in a
think.
specific way. So if Wizza has something to say, I'll definitely make sure to reflect it. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I asked Wizza about the Allen connection, and in an actual DM with us, the CEO, in fact, if you can look here, the actual person claims that they are the CEO and an owner. I have full authority to speak on the behalf of my company and our entire team. So in this message to me, they actually said, I've seen the theory circulating on Reddit and YouTube. Allen seems to be the center of attention and is the obvious connection between the two companies. However, that's nothing out of the ordinary, since he does work on both companies, quite obviously on influencer relationships. So it's interesting that we actually have this mention. So Alan is, I guess, confirmed to be close to Wizza, at least in terms of influencer relationships. In another further DM, we share a lot of brand partners when I asked them about investors and influencers because Alan has been involved in influencer marketing at both companies. I think Steve has been pretty forthcoming on that. I'm sure Steve has been plenty forthcoming. Steve has also been deleting a lot of content too, so regardless, it's a whole shady rabbit hole to go down there. Now, Roobet, by their own admission, is crypto's fastest growing casino. Yes, using a currency that is unregulated in a part of the world that frankly cannot service most of the people that it is advertising to. Now, if you go to Roobet right now, it's actually a site that you can access if you live outside of the United States, outside of the United Kingdom, Spain, France, the Slovak Republic, and Italy. Don't believe me? That comes straight from their own TOS. In fact, if you look at their own TOS, last updated 18th June 2021, Roobet is actually a website that operates under the government of Curaçao using a master license of gaming services provider NV8048/Jazz. Now, if Roobet sounds familiar, it's because I've already covered it in a video before, when I looked into the gambling epidemic that sort of peaked a couple months back. Now, Roobet, you may have actually heard of being used by large streamers. In fact, Twitch's largest streamer, as far as I know. You may have seen Aiden Ross,
Logan Paul's friend,
FaZe Banks, Rice Gum, and various members of Nelk, and again, Steve will do it. You might have even seen famous police informant, rapper Tekashi69 gambling online on Roobet with our good friend Steve will do it. So
this looks like a lot of fun.
Choice for some of the LA crowd out
flip
there.
kangaroo
now,
tiles.
if you go to YouTube and type in the words Roobet, you can actually straight up see that, yeah, it's probably one of the most popular. Can you make money Roobet betting? I don't know. Here you got a Fillion video, which is a pretty solid banger as far as I've seen. You've got I tested guaranteed cash profits. There's no guarantees in a casino unless you're really
I tested guaranteed cash profit.
Good
man, he's playing the game.
The dark side of Roobet. The creepy online game needs to be stopped. We'll get to all that later on, buckos. Clearly it's popular, okay? Clearly it's there. Now, to understand how Roobet works, this is an offshore casino that's based in Curaçao through a registered company known as Raw Entertainment BV, registered in April of this year, no less. Now, you might be wondering, wait, Muda, hasn't Roobet been here longer than April 2021?
I'll check it out, Teller.
You're absolutely right.
Tails.
Actually, you are completely on the money. So, I used our good friend Wayback Machine to really look at what Roobet was all about. Now, if we actually use our good old Wayback Machine, you can see that we're on Roobet.com. This is the site right now. Now, through Wayback Machine, we're actually able to go to Roobet.com as it appeared in the year 2020. In fact, we can go even further. Well, 2021 won't load, but 2020 loads just fine. Now, on the current site at the moment, if you scroll all the way bottom, you'll notice that Roobet.com is a brand name of Raw Entertainment BV, registration number 1572005. And of course, they are licensed underneath in Curaçao with 8048/Jazz. In Curaçao, there are basically 4 licenses that grant sub-licenses.
I don't even know where Curaçao is in the world. I've never heard of it. Sounds like something from Star Wars.
It's basically a giant mess over there that's going through some level of a restructuring. But this is currently how it operates right now. But I know if you go into the Wayback Machine, you can actually see that Roobet.com is a brand name of Tech House Limited, registration number 171902. Now, of course, if you look at the bottom over here, Roobet.com used to belong, I guess, at some point to Tech House Limited, all right, where they were registered underneath license 365/Jazz, another license. They were also granted another sub-license, which if you click this, it takes you to another Wayback page where, guess what? They actually have a validation, all right, a validator. Now, currently, the Wayback Machine archive of this validator in 2020 says that this is not verified. I believe this might actually be an error, though, but looking further into their current validation as of right now, slap that refresh, you can see that this is a terminated license, doesn't really work for Tech House Limited. So apparently it seems at some point Roobet switched hands. I don't know why that necessarily was, but April of 2021 this year, suddenly switching hands, I don't know. It's a long line of questions to ask. Speaking of license validation, one of the actual validators that I used, and I tried my best to find the actual Roobet license to see if the actual, license they had was validated. And in this case, you actually see they have the company name registered as Raw Entertainment BV, same, registration addresses, emails are there, supported Roobet.com. The registered website is Roobet.com. Now in this validator, it says operating status is valid. However, at the top it says the seal validation page has expired since it was generated on October 2nd, 2021. So currently at the time of filming, it's October the 4th. I also want to just quickly update this by going back to...
Well, let's just fucking gamble. Mudahar should see what the odds are, too.
Actually go down and show you that
thoroughly evaluate each
page, so
stam.
you finally get this like validator once again that I didn't see any time that I was recording, and their license does actually appear to be valid. So good job on that.
Exit Prime,
but again, this is
Floroni
kind of
in the
the
resub
basic shit
fridge.
you have to deal with when you're working with an offshore casino, okay? Because when you're dealing with any offshore casino, especially one where the influencers are a good chunk of them based in the United States, catering to American players who probably are firing up VPNs just to use the service, that becomes a bit of a problem, okay? Because it's offshore, because you're using a VPN and you're violating whatever TOS that they have, if you look directly into their terms of services, by using VPNs, you warrant not to use any form of VPN or other methods or program to hide your IP or state of origin unless you went through full ID and address verification as described.
Well, what does this all mean with Steve? He can't read.
So again, if you don't live in the United States,
so how does this apply to him?
And they find out, and suddenly they have to give you $100 grand back if you ever won it. You may not ever see that money because congratulations, you're not supposed to be playing in this casino.
Is it Prime?
So again, it becomes a bit of an issue. Now, again, if you go to YouTube right now and you type in Roobet VPN, there are people that are actually teaching you how to use it, all right? They're giving you tutorials on VPNs, deposits, and withdrawals. How about don't do it in the first place, okay? When you're playing offshore, you're putting all your money on the line. I'm just saying, you're putting your money in a risky section. That's not okay. When the US government straight up is telling you criminal organizations may try to take advantage of the availability of US dollars, offshore banking, and incorporation systems, 2 FTZs, a large shipping container terminal, Curacao-based online gaming sites. So they've already mentioned it in like official reports. Now, Curacao, being in the Dutch Caribbean, is basically a constituent country of the Netherlands. And the Netherlands is currently dealing with actually fixing some of these issues right now. So sites like Roobet
just in time.
may actually have difficulty operating in Curacao in the next coming year or two. Because right now, because of the pandemic and aid packages being offered through, for instance, if you're reading on casino.org right now, which is the world's online gaming authority, they're straight up telling you Rogue Online Gaming Hub Curacao vows to clean up its act in return for COVID-19 rescue packages. Curaçao's days as a haven for shady online gaming sites.
What a cool thing to be known for.
A financial bailout package from the Dutch government.
Like an actual hub for scams.
The island has been told to clean up its act. And here they're talking about the 4 master licenses, where one of the actual quotes right here is sub-licenses are relatively inexpensive and quick to easy and acquire. Once an operator is up and running, taxes are low, regulatory oversight is almost non-existent, and operators are free to target whichever markets they wish, regardless of the laws in those markets. Now, not all operators licensed in Curacao are bad, but those that can thrive in a jurisdiction where oversight is slack. If you go and try to get a Curacao gaming license, there are plenty of people out there willing to assist.
Wait, I can actually just apply for one?
That'll help you get that license. Again, it costs a certain amount of money for sure, but whatever you're paying is definitely negligible in comparison to the money you'd be raking in operating a very successful casino. Now, we looked at Roobet's KYC clause, okay? If you are playing from like some major countries that they have banned, don't expect to get
start
your
up
money
a good
during KYC
crypto
phases.
scam to
Now,
fund MoistCr1tikal.
I've actually done some test gambling. I've degenerated myself a little bit for this video right here. I
let's
went over here
go!
to the site and put in some money. If you click on the history for my account, you can see that at
Mudahar makes millions of dollars.
$17. This is a Bitcoin deposit.
Deletes the
Then I
video.
put $60 of Ethereum in, and then $20 of Ethereum. All in all, I put in less than about $100, but I actually used some of the slots. So I played Rubonanza and Tome of Madness, where I lost $1.60, another $1.60, but then I made $10 almost. And then I lost 20 cents on a Rubonanza and another 20 cents. So I guess, in a way, I must have made some money. Again, transaction fees be damned, right? Ladies and gentlemen, this is important because we're going to be looking at how these transactions work, which is actually the real meat and potatoes of this video. Now, to understand when we're looking at all these gambling websites, okay, I'm okay to operate. I'm from Canada. I can put money in and take money out. And in some capacity, I've been able to do so. In fact, if you look at all of my withdrawals, they do in fact come with full-on transaction hashes. You can look at this transaction hash for yourself in its entirety and confirm that I've actually earned my money back. I've received money. Now, I have to believe that because I spent less than $100, I didn't trigger any necessity for KYC. Now, if you ever do put in a lot of money, I believe at some point they're going to want to ask for your identification, your documents, your docs, if you will. If you go to my account history real quick, you can see that in the verification tab, I have given them my name as John McAfee. As far as these people know, I'm a good old billionaire, okay? I'm a good old McAfee boy. I have been born in the year 1994 with a number that hopefully should be blurred out. I have my actual address, I shit you not, set as City Hall for Toronto. And it works. Now, of course, in level 2, where they ask for proof of identity and proof of address, I haven't provided any of it. And when you really, if you ever do make a lot of money, you're going to have to provide sources of funds. Probably when you also drop in a lot of money, too. Hopefully, that's how their AML and KYC works. If it doesn't, I'd be a little questioning. I'd be questioning the situation even more than I am now. Some people really do gamble some of their money away. For instance, this one post on Reddit right here said, Roobet is taking balances. If you play with VPNs, watch out. And you can see right here in this conversation where they probably were asked to give some level of identification where they were like, no thanks, I never had to do anything like this for any casino online.
It's very sweet for
do I need to show these documents in order to withdraw
I don't know what those would sell for
in my account? Unfortunately, I am not sure. However, I have gone ahead and pinged our compliance team regarding this. As soon as they are available, they will get back to you here. And then say thank you for taking the time to respond to our request. Unfortunately, we are unable to unrestrict your account and allow you to withdraw your funds in your account until your account has been verified. However, if you wish to not complete the verification process and there was a new deposit you made since your account has been restricted, we would be happy to look into that for you. Can you please provide the transaction hash? Point is, you're using a cryptocurrency that is used to hide your identity, and now all of a sudden you have to give all your information away. It seems like the whole fucking point of using Bitcoin is null and void. But yeah, you can see people actually lying about where they're from, putting money in, and then when the KYC phase comes, then they get screwed. So now we should look at all of the influencers that are throwing money into Roobet, the people that we talked about earlier in the video. Now, it's clear that there are sponsorships being tossed around, and obviously when you're sponsored, you get given some compensation, okay? That's just generally how a sponsorship works. You make money. Now, what comes...
You could just not do it, though, for a crypto casino, right? Like, what are they going to do? Sue you?
So
they're running an illegal casino.
Aiden Ross, who's an individual that actually ended up leaking how much money they were making throughout this entire deal. It actually made the news. It was on Dexerto and a lot of, internet sites out there. Yeah, right here from a stream clip, our buddy Aiden Ross was...
Yeah, I remember this one.
DuelBits, another online casino, right? In fact, you can look at DuelBits right now. Here's DuelBits. Bam, bam. Here, crypto casino. This is not a new concept. Everyone's running these operations. But if you look into here, they offered me a bag. I offered you guys nearly 2M, that's million buckos, a month.
What a deal. What a deal.
Math, kids, that's a lot of money per year. I need dick. You offered 1.4 and didn't want to cover expenses. Imagine making over 7 figures and still needing the expenses covered. Jesus Christ. What kind of expenses? Well, let's try to figure that out. Roobet covering expenses. Plus we get referral code money. We are getting more. Sorry, bro. Maybe we can work again someday. Sad face. You kept all your referral code money as a group, lol. I offered 1.6. So yeah, they're making somewhere.
I do remember when that leaked.
$2 million. Okay, maybe more. Maybe potentially more money is being tossed around. But what you have to learn is these are massive, massive sponsorships. Now, to understand, this is where it gets kind of scummy, okay? Let's say that these people aren't throwing any of their own money into these gambling sessions.
Thank you so much, bro.
Well, that's unethical. Think of it like this, okay? If you're promoting gambling,
I'm gonna do some MoistCr1tikal tomorrow.
Without using your own money, you're not gambling. It's not high stakes gambling. It becomes a bit of a problem. Now, of course, I guess the proper comparison you can make is it's like if you're promoting alcohol, right? Like if I told you, hey guys, this whiskey is thebomb.com. I drink it every night. And I'm drinking whiskey on live streams every night, plugging in a code. Okay?
I'd have to buy that whiskey.
Code wasted.
If it's good enough for Mudahar, it's good enough for me.
Find out I'm not drinking whiskey. I'm chugging apple juice. Okay, I'm chugging some good old appy juice. Well, at that point, it becomes unethical because I'm promoting a destructive product to you, an addictive product, and I'm also not harming my own health. In fact, if anything,
He's a
my
prime
viewers
golfer
are
and
then
Linny.
buying the product, I'm making the money, and your health is being harmed. It'd be
Thanks,
one thing if
Juku.
I was getting wasted as well. That'd be fine and dandy, okay? Then the ethical nature wouldn't be as damning. But you can kind of understand the comparison that I'm trying to make. If you're gambling with your own money and promoting gambling, somehow, in my opinion, it's a bit more acceptable when you're promoting it to adults and you're also
He's a
putting
prime
yourself
chalk.
on the line. Now, you've also heard that influencers have constantly mentioned that they're being down bad because of this situation, like they're actually down in the hole. But again, imagine if you're not gambling with your own money. Let's say a site
What a
pays
dream.
$1 million a month, okay? And you throw away 2.5 million. You still have the 500
Yeah, maybe
grand.
Coke Man.
Now, I guess the only option you can see yourself being down in is all of a sudden you're consistently losing whatever money you're making. So let's say you have 500,000 up one day, all right, and the next month comes, they give you another 3 million. All of a sudden you spent the 3 million you have made plus the 500,000. Then you're down 3.5 million. And of course, the pit can go deeper and deeper and deeper. You get what I'm saying, right? But I find it really hard with all this money being thrown at the actual streamer and them losing some of this money that they aren't coming out somewhere on top. At the end of the day, streaming is a business, okay? If anything, if you are actually down, you should get out of it and stop promoting it to your audience. Because if you're given this much of a leg up in gambling and you're still down, imagine what the viewers are going through. So
If you're
let's
that
go
down
look
after
even
such
deeper,
help,
okay?
you're just
It's
not
one
good
thing
at
to
it.
say all of that,
Gambling's
but
free
it's
money,
another thing
baby.
to provably
It's all
show
about
how some
skill.
Bitcoin transactions
Gotta
work.
finesse
Let's
those
see
slot
if some of these
machines.
streamers maybe have actually
Blow 'em a
put
little
some
kiss.
of their own money in.
Tell 'em to stop being so
I showed
naughty.
you earlier how I gambled. I threw money into Roobets. So let me show you how an actual normal transaction looks like. Let's say that you were to go to Roobets. Well, if you put Bitcoin into Roobet, I'm going to use a tool called Explorer by Crystal Blockchain to show you a transaction. So this is my wallet, okay? 3CJ6.
Thanks, Mr. Pandemonium and
This is where I
Genius.
sent 0.009 BTC. That money then went to an account known as 1AG, right? How do you know 1AG is related to Roobets? Well, let's go to Roobet's site
Thanks,
once
Prime
again.
Angel.
So if I go to Roobet's site and I click the big green deposit button, you'll notice that I have this deposit tab, the withdraw tab, the tip, and the free tab. Now, if you look at the deposit tab, the Bitcoin wallet is 1AG YVX1YUHYDD. Now, I want you to think of this as an intermediary wallet, okay? So anytime somebody puts in a Bitcoin into that account, it should credit my Roobet account, okay? So at some point, if you sent a Bitcoin to this, Roobet, once it receives the Bitcoin, would look into that wallet and say, okay, Muda's account received 1 BTC. So credit Muda's account on the website's backend with 1 BTC worth of US dollars. Now I can then play slots, gamble, and the site's backend can keep that record in check. When it comes time to take my money out, Roobet will then look at the amount of money that I'm requesting. It will see if that's even available on my account through that number, and then it will send a transaction back to me. It would be monumentally weird if Roobet was transacting Bitcoin between accounts as slots were played or gambling sessions were run. That would be a bit insane. That wouldn't be logistically real.
We have the worst audio levels on this site,
realistically,
dude.
you
You're
have to
1,000
create
times
these
louder than every
intermediary
video.
wallets that people put money into.
I don't know what you want me to do about that,
detects,
man.
And that's pretty much how it works. So I put in that amount of Bitcoin into
videos
this
are
account.
quieter than
This
others.
account then sends that Bitcoin
Is what it is.
to this 3QTU. Now, this 3QTU has 443,000 transactions. If you look at the owner according to Crystal Blockchain, it's Roobet. If you look at my intermediary wallet and you check its owner, it's Roobet. So my money
Get a
goes
volume
to an
extension?
intermediary
Cool,
wallet,
check
which
this out.
then credits my
Let me
account
throw on my
with
volume
that much
extension.
BTC you're seeing, and then a couple days later, it then
Huge.
sends that
Now it's
money
better.
to the big giant Roobet wallet. So you understand, and if you look at the amount of money, that's 11,609 Bitcoin just sitting in there, and it constantly gets received and then sent. Right now, according to the last time this was checked, it has around 40 Bitcoin. How much is 40 Bitcoin? Well, let's do the quick math. That's how much is sitting in the hot wallet. $1.8 million. Okay, almost 1.9 million. Okay, 1.9 million. All right, let's just round it up. That's how much money is sitting in the account. All right, you understand that? That's not chump change. Now again,
It is
there's
to
also
Aiden Ross.
addresses
That's
for
a
Ethereum
monthly
and
deposit.
Litecoin, where the real difference
That's
is
some
for
weak
Bitcoin,
shit.
I can request new addresses, but Ethereum I cannot. Same with Litecoin. These account addresses are permanently tied to all of your Roobet accounts. So this is what it looks like normally, right, for Bitcoin users. Now, if you go and type into the ETH account, you can see that I have an
Tier 1
intermediary
Alonzo and the
wallet
Prime
too. So I have
ZSEP.
OX9CC979. If I click on this actual Bitcoin wallet, you can see that this account received money from OX88. OX88 is one of my actual Ethereum accounts. It has $134 in it right now. Now, the first transaction was from Binance, so I actually bought some Ethereum with Bitcoin through a decentralized exchange. Then I sent the money, 0.02 Ether, to the intermediary Roobet wallet, so that same wallet where I deposit money in and Roobet credits my account. Now, every time I get money out of Roobet, it comes from the Roobet hot wallet. The Roobet hot wallet has around $581,000 worth of Ethereum in it right now, with 986,000 transactions. In fact, these are all dependent transactions right now.
So the house is losing.
People are requesting money out of Roobet, so it's very active. And here's me again putting money later into Roobet. You can actually see that according to the actual hours, I put in money earlier that day, then a few hours later, I gave money to good old Roobet. And you can actually see this reflected in my account history. So all of my deposits in this case,
I think he's just proving that Roobet
functions
and
and then a few
explaining
hours later,
how
I put
it
in more
works.
Ethereum,
Not necessarily that it's a big
more.
scam yet.
Now again, I'm just telling you this is what an account looks like. When you go to the Ethereum intermediary wallet, I put money into it, and then almost about a day later, Roobet then takes money from that Ethereum like intermediary wallet and then sends it to the Roobet hot wallet. So it's all a cyclical thing, okay? The Roobet hot wallet
It's not really a big scam?
Ethereum
Fuck you talking about?
Okay? It puts an Ethereum there from these intermediary
Maybe
wallets and it gives from the Roobet hot wallet when people want to take their money out of Roobet onto their own wallet. So that's how the whole chain works. Now, to understand, I just doxed my Ethereum account for Roobet, okay? So now everyone in the world can go to those addresses and confirm exactly what I'm doing with the money.
And they can send you money.
If I send $130
pretty
good,
good, pretty good idea.
Account, you will know what account I'm sending money to.
Just toss you some Ethereum.
Blockchain. It's all verified. It's all out
Roobet
there.
can tip
it's
you
all
now?
Recorded forever. Now, it's one thing to just speculate and throw all this stuff around. It's another thing to get lucky. See, in this case, how it worked is, as I showed you my Bitcoin wallet address, I doxed myself. These things are actually pretty ironclad and anonymous, provided the user doesn't just happen to give it out somewhere. Now, you can imagine when you're streaming for hours on end, you're probably going to end up giving up an address that you probably shouldn't in the grand scheme of things to a bunch of people investigating over the internet. So, for instance, we had to watch a few hours of Aiden Ross and
rough.
Various other streamers
Jesus
like
Christ.
the Nelk Boys. Trust me, it was a truly mentally taxing experience. But we got lucky because in 1 hour and 48 minutes of this one random stream that was done on 06, 24, 20,
Aiden Ross is such a
where you had
fucking
Pammy Baby,
liability.
Banks, Rice Scum, and more, and more, you actually found out that he leaked his Bitcoin deposit address. So his Bitcoin intermediary wallet. Now, it's a pretty low quality over there, but we ended up, basically using our big brains, and we ended up finding out that it was 1D153 RGEG. So copy that into blockchain history, and boy, get ready to watch this fucking wild beast. Boys and girls out there, I'm going to Control-V this good old address in. Now, of course, it says there are 2 blockchains with your result. Now, trust me, this is not something where, you can just accidentally put anything out. If I take like one letter and switch out like U over here, and I take 7 and I turn that into a 9 and I hit search, we couldn't find what you're looking for. So again, we have to believe we're pretty dead on the money for this. So click on BTC or BCH. You're going to be surprised both ways.
Oh, I'm ready.
Aiden Ross didn't put a fucking dime of his money into that Bitcoin wallet address. So, boys and girls, let's go back. How much money does fucking Aiden Ross have in the account? $300,000. For those of you who want to quantify that in a stupid car purchase, that's the price of 2 Lamborghinis, okay? If you buy right. Ladies and gentlemen, where did he
Not
put the money?
bad.
This guy was just straight up given $300K. Now, that's not the wildest thing. On the Aiden account, this is the Aiden account. Unless he requested a new Bitcoin address, Aiden never put in a dime of his own money to gamble. Is it really gambling? Is it really high-stakes gambling?
Yeah, you can just cash out that $300K
and be like, your money to begin with? No, it's not. To reiterate, this is my Bitcoin wallet, okay? So you can see right here that I threw it into an actual deployer, like, sorry, intermediary wallet for me on Roobet, and then it went to Roobet a while later. So I actually put my money in, but when I look at the Bitcoin wallet for Aiden in this case, there is literally 0 transactions that have ever happened. So again, unless you're requesting new addresses or something, we clearly see that there is no transactional history, at least from Aiden. So it's all happening in the back end. Now, it's not
You know
just
who cares
Aiden
the
that
least
did
about
Some
all
of the
this?
Nelk boys, for
Aiden
instance,
Ross
Kyle,
fans.
one of the big Nelk boys out there.
He openly says he
ended up,
scams them, and they
actually
just like
leaking
cheer it
out
on,
his
like,
address.
yeah, you
So
did,
here
you
we
got
caught
us.
him, right now on day 10.
Still interesting
where he
to
was
learn
doing
about, though.
high stakes gambling. Oh yeah. Okay, let's hit play on this one. So, ladies and gentlemen, if we just watch this, all right, and go a little bit further, he clicks the deposit key. Now, go frame by frame. Bam! Look at that wallet address. Again, translating it from this gibberish of 360p has its own special merit. So, again, if you take that address and you go into the blockchain
Another
explorer
fucking fat
buckos,
one.
and again,
Thank
I
you,
want to tell
Dookie.
you, okay, if you go in here and
Thank
you
you,
just change
man.
random words
Goddamn.
around, all right, and you search for it, you're not going to get what you're looking for. It has to be basically exact, all right? So search for that address. You get 2
Thank you
results.
so much, man.
BTC and Bitcoin Cash. Hit both of them, $0. This
What,
has
in
been
tarnation?
transacted 0 times. This has been transacted 0 times. Is it really gambling if you haven't fucking put in money? But Mura, does he have any money in Bitcoin in there? Oh yeah. Around $90,000 worth of Bitcoin is sitting in the account. You can compare it by the fucking symbols too. Yeah, unless they're requesting new addresses. Look, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt, all right? But I'm not seeing any transactions.
I can
So,
assure you,
what?
Steve wasn't requesting new
What? Now,
addresses. He
ladies and
literally
gentlemen,
can't
you're
read.
wondering, oh, but Muda, how are they
He doesn't know what that button
$200,000?
says.
Well, I mean, sponsorships are sponsorships, right? But I think the real big concern that I'm kind of having is when they're pushing their codes, all right? You'll always see it in their video, okay? They're always pushing some code. Use code FULLSEND.
Is
Or
it
at
tier
least
1
in
gelato?
Aiden Ross's case, it's use code FAM, all right? Now, if you go to good old Roobets, for instance, they do have an affiliate program, okay? So if you go to your account right here, you can click on affiliate, and they do actually have a referral link. So, for instance, mine is
Is it tier 1
Roobet.com, ref equal anal boy.
Retro
You can
GN?
probably figure out anal boy is me on Roobet. Now, of course, I'm a tier 1 operator. I actually have 5% commission. Well, the more people I claim into this wild scheme, the higher my tier goes, which means I gain a % commission. But the commission, if you look at Roobet's own website, is all about this. Affiliates receive a commission of 5% of the mathematical house edge on all of their referrals wagers, with that percentage increasing as the referrer climbs the tiers. Each player starts at 5%. It increases by 1%, maxing out to 15%. The tiers are climbed
At
by
least Steve
referring
gives the money
additional
away
players.
sometimes.
So the more people you get into Roobet,
Yeah, he
the more
scams
you're
me,
making
but he
on
also gave the money to
mathematical
one of his
house
friends
edge
once,
of
so that
all
was
of their
cool.
wagers. So if they're losing,
Why are you trying to find a
money,
bright side,
if
man?
they're wagering, you're
He's fucking you in the
profiting
mouth.
off of the fans
Like, what do you
bring
mean?
in. So you're not spending your own money, it seems, at least from the Bitcoin transactions or lack thereof that we've seen. But then all of a sudden, your fans are coming in, pouring $100 here, $1,000 there. If they're getting really degenerate, tens of thousands of dollars. But you're comfortable making the bag, and then making a further cream on top of your fans losing some of their money. Now, that doesn't mean sometimes you don't come across the third
Okay, hold on, I
scenario.
need to go
Somebody
pee.
has a connection.
I don't find this bad at all. Cucklord Andy. Well, that checks out. Your chat history. You've only said 9 things. 4 of them were spamming PogChamp, and then the other 5 are saying, it's honestly not a big deal, it's not bad, oh well, and I don't find this bad. Yeah, I mean, that sounds about right. Hey man, I have no problem with it either. The people are begging to be scammed by influencers. They're just giving them what they want. It's very interesting to learn about. It's not like it's going to outrage me. Like I said, people literally beg to get scammed. And then when they get scammed, they're like totally fine with it. It's crazy. As evident from that guy. I'm going to go pee now though, so I'll be right back. Thanks to Prime Pedro and the resub. Rhetoric and Pikmin. Yeah, I watched Chet Hanks' interview on stream. I love Channel 5. Oh, this is a pretty crazy account. You have only ever said 18 things in this chat, and they're all about Aiden Ross for the last 6 months. I barely even talk about Aiden Ross. I've only mentioned him like twice in my life. I don't really have a problem with the guy. I don't watch his shit. But almost all of your comments came tonight saying Aiden doesn't know what he's doing. He's just got a lot of bad influence around him. What are you, like his mom? How is it a scam? It's just promoting gambling like any other gambling promotion. You said that 5 times. Well, it's her fault. What's she doing breaking the rules? I don't know what that's in reference to. He already said he gets fills. He already said he gets fills. Aiden said he already gets fills, and it isn't his money, so it's not exposing anything. See what I'm saying? People literally love getting scammed. Like, they actually welcome it. That's why I'm not mad about it. They are providing a service that people are begging for. People are obsessed with internet celebrities, and they don't care if they're getting used. At the end of the day, he gets to spam W in the Aiden Ross chat and feel like he's part of a family. So of course they're going to come here and defend him. Like, on everything. Even when it's at their own expense. I highly doubt that guy's old enough to gamble. But if he was, and he lost money, I think he would immediately forgive Aiden. No doubt in my mind. I just find it all very interesting at the end of the day. Doesn't make me mad. It's just, I think it's just a really interesting situation here. But to answer your question, him saying that it's just Phil's and not his money doesn't make it any less shitty. Hey guys, this is a gambling site I'm sponsored by. I'm gonna gamble tonight. It's not my money, so I'm not like actually gambling, but you guys should go put your money in there because I make money when you do. It's still immoral. Like, just because he's up front that he's not actually using his money doesn't make it any less awful. Like, I don't know what you, like, your point doesn't really fucking work. And goddamn, Dookie, I just saw that when I went to take a piss. I hope you're really enjoying streaming, man. Thank you for the generosity. Thank you for those huge fucking bits, man. I hope you have a great night. Thanks for the resub, Zorion, Yerfer, and the Prime Postboy, General, Spoonie, France, Ballsman, and the 5 gift subs, Grushi. Thank you.
Connection to the website, but also may end up being a pretty heavy gambler themselves too. Now, again, I want to reiterate, scenario 1 was me, okay? I joined the site and I basically dumped money into it. To understand something about Roobet that really seems off to me is when you obviously have a childlike audience and you do show them gambling, in a legitimate gambling site or a legitimate casino, a child cannot just drop in money. A minor can't put in dollars into a casino and expect it to fly. There's obviously a lot more checks. But with an unregulated gambling site like Roobet, I was able to give them false information, lie about my date of birth, and without any KYC check that I had to give, even up to this day, I was able to deposit money and then withdraw it as well. Granted, it was less than $100, but for a lot of kids with mommy's credit card or daddy's credit card sitting on the line, they may be able to drop $100 on an unregulated, or sorry, a decentralized crypto exchange, get $100 and throw it into Roobets. Listen, I'm not saying it's something that you would immediately see just in everyday life, but kids can figure this stuff out. And in reality, if you're not actually authoring or you're not actually checking these things heavily, kids are going to eventually gamble, all right? And once they get into that dirty vice, they can get really addicted to that nonsense. Now, in the first scenario, I put in money, it went to an intermediary wallet, and it went to Roobet's wallet later on. So I was a legitimate case. Now, of course, you have influencers like the ones we've just seen who are actually not putting in their money, at least from their Bitcoin addresses, as far as I was able to tell, except they were getting it from what it appears to be the back end of the site. But you have a third scenario where people who are connected to the actual site, at least from transactions it seems, are actually gambling pretty heavily. So let's go tie back real quick. Remember that video we watched earlier where Alfonso or Alan was sort of brought into the mix by our friend Steve? There was another character named Doom13.
Yeah.
Doom13's Twitter profile, you can see that Doom13 talks a lot about Roobet, retweets Wizza, and definitely has a connection to the CSGO gambling side of the internet. See,
cool
Alan
little gamer
and Doom seem
tag.
to have a lot more in common than I ever expected. So let's take a look at Doom's YouTube page and just scour at all the gambling.
That looks
In
fun.
my case, I got frame perfect speedrun level lucky. Basically, I clicked on one of his links after watching this stuff for hours on end, and I was lucky enough to find one point where I was able to see this dude's Ethereum wallet, you know, his intermediary Ethereum transaction wallet. I punched that into Bitcoin. I punched that into the blockchain. I
Thanks, Yusuf
audited it.
Leadmaster.
I checked it, and it turns out that this guy is putting a lot of money into this account. Now, anytime in this entire list, when you see the words exchange, it's when he goes to an exchange service and just basically
Is that
instead of putting
1.2
his own
million?
actual
1.2
personal wallet, he actually
million?
feeds his intermediary wallet, and it goes from the actual exchange to the
This
wallet.
guy's in deep.
In certain cases, you can see that he literally puts money in. It goes to the Roobet hot wallet later, okay, a few hours later as expected.
What an
However, what's
idiot. Just
important
get
is
sponsored.
Sometimes you see the Roobet
You don't have to
second
gamble
largest
your money.
whale. Why is this important? Well, if you don't know, the second largest whale, and you'll find out later in this video what I mean by that, but as a quick example, the second largest whale basically means from the actual Roobet hot wallet where all these
Thanks, Yusuf
funds
Spinny and
eventually
Tier
pull
1
to,
Captain
the second
Chamo.
largest place
Yusuf
where
Fort
Roobet's
Moon,
hot
and then
wallet
gets some
sends
plague.
money to is the second largest whale. So why is it that Doom's wallet has money from the second largest whale funneling in? Now, with the amount of videos that are getting deleted by the hour right now on the internet, I have to imagine influencers do not want their audiences to know what these intermediary wallets are. Because logic would
There's
dictate
some
if you can
hexes.
figure out the wallet
Good luck,
in
man.
question, you're able to see any account putting money in. And logically, it's inferable
There's
that
Prime Slot.
any account that puts money into an intermediary wallet is probably an account that is owned by the actual person. It's not that you give these accounts to random people on the internet and people can tip you money. There's a totally usable tip feature on the site that you can use right now. And honestly, most of these creators try not to show this as far as I've been able to tell in my time investigating. So when you really get a chance to look into these intermediary wallets, you can start to really trace a lot of connections between one another. So again, in Doom's case, this guy does seem like a genuine gambler. But it is odd that you start to see Roobet's second largest whale. So imagine the flow. Roobet's hot wallet goes
I
to
would have
the
expected the
second
second largest whale
Then
to
the
have
second
much
largest
more
whale puts it
invested.
into Doom's intermediary wallet, and then the intermediary wallet sends it back to Roobet. So now that we've gone over these three scenarios, let's go back to our buddies Aiden and Kyle and really start to understand that
Kyle?
if they're not,
You mean
if their
Steve?
wallets don't show any transactions at all in Bitcoin, where is that Bitcoin coming from? Is it credited on the back end? Is some mystery benefactor giving it to them? Well, here's where we're going to introduce a character known as Howie. So, ladies and gentlemen, there's a character known as Howie on Roobet, okay? Howie is kind of like the marketing person, okay? You can see on Roobet's own website that they're like, who's seen Howie? Who's seen Howie? Don't think Howie is like Spuds.
That's
McKenzie,
adorable.
all right?
That's just
Howie is the
adorable.
person that everyone needs to go to. See, even as a multi-millionaire, sometimes you have to give up some of your dignity, and you have to.
This is
ask
pretty
Howie
boring
to
stuff. I find
fill
it
up the
interesting.
cup.
This is a
Hey,
multi-million-dollar
Hey,
scam.
Howie, fill up my gambling cup. I'm all out. Listen to some of this. It's fucking.
This is a
hilarious.
huge scam.
I'm gonna do that, Howie. You're weird as bro.
What the did he ask for this time?
What's it hot, bro?
Just get your little hot then.
Yeah, do what Howie says. Yeah, you little naughty boy. Yeah, you fucking
can
follow
make $1
Howie's
million
rules.
bucks a goddamn month, but man, once a clip like that is floating out on the internet, dude, your dignity just goes all the way down.
What
the
a
hole.
naughty
Hey,
boy.
Get that back, King. I guess, right? Go
Almost
through all you need to. Ladies and
misbehaved.
gentlemen, that's the kind of stuff you have to do to get that cup filled up, buckos. That's how you get the fills. Now, it's also interesting looking into some of these other characters. Like, let's listen into this one real quick. Whenever Nelk, for instance, runs out of their money, well, how do you think they get it back?
Howie?
Watch this.
We just lost 15 racks. All right, well,
It's called Howie.
that was a test.
Let's
Uh,
call Howie.
It's called Howie.
Easy Zero and
Not
Alpha
really sure what
Beast,
happened there.
the Prime
You
Butterdog,
might need to call
Louis,
Howie.
and
You
the
might
Risa
need to really
Bellin.
call Howie off screen. Because that was
Thanks, Psych.
So they got to call Howie? Well, let's see what Howie's going to do. They just lost 15 racks. If you look at their Bitcoin wallet here, they're sitting at a toasty $0, okay? God damn. Don't worry, guys. Howie comes in clutch. Look at that Bitcoin wallet up top. They're back to playing Crash. Same exact stream that we were watching.
Let's go, Howie.
Damn, boys. You saw it right there. God damn. 15K straight up caught. Just credited to the account. Now, again, we looked at Kyle's, Bitcoin wallet that I guess he showed during this high-stakes gambling, extravaganza. And it don't seem like our buddy was just randomly throwing in money. So 15K just being granted out to you. Again, it's not to say that the money is fake. Clearly, it's real.
There's you some coin.
But is it the influencers? Is it really gambling if it's, you know, money from the house? Come on now. See, again, people run in with a lot of these conspiracies, but at the same time, like, when you actually are able to track down somebody's wallet and really look at the lack thereof transactions, no one can really jump on and all of a sudden say, yeah, I was spending my own money. Dude, I looked at the Bitcoin transaction. You're gambling in Bitcoin. You're getting 15K credited to the Bitcoin. It doesn't show you putting any bucks into it yourself. So is it really gambling, or are you just playing with free money while you're goading in random people to jump in and spend their own actual money? It's harmful to your viewer. Doesn't really seem all that harmful to you. Now, let's go back to the Roobet hot wallet, friends.
I want to talk to Howie.
I think I've covered most
Howie,
of
you
what
in the
I
chat?
wanted to mention, but I think it's time to prep us up for the later parts of the series, okay? For instance, we discovered new tools that were actually going to help us actually uncover the money flow that's going between these accounts. Instead of going through it last time where I spent like 20 minutes fuddling around with random, Bitcoin wallet addresses, really just trying to keep you in the loop. If you've noticed one thing in this entire situation is some of these wallets are named. Well, that's because when you make an account on Etherscan or BSC Scan or whatever, you're able to put name tags on various wallets. And the big benefit of this is as we continue our investigations and people are plotted on our map, I guess, of people that we've discovered, wallets that we've uncovered to belong allegedly to certain creators, we can map out transactions from random people. And sometimes you come across some wild shit. Now, in this case, we're going to take the Roobet hot wallet, so OXC94 EBB328, whatever number string after. So we're going to copy this address to the clipboard. What's important here is we're going to use something called explorer.bitcoin.
Yeah, we watched the CoffeeZilla first.
Again, I show you these tools because I don't want you to just take my word for it. I want you to do this yourself.
I'll take your word for it.
So go in here, toss in this address, hit enter, and as you go around, you see all these systems. What's important is Ethereum mainnet, okay? We're going to look at the ETH transactions between the Roobet hot wallet. So if we go to the money flow in this case, and we go to something called Sankey, Sankey simplifies a lot of things and shows us this being the Roobet hot wallet. So you can see where Roobet is getting their money flowed in from, and also where they're flowing a chunk of their money out to. In fact, according to the Sankey, the largest account is OXE6752D54. If you actually open this wallet address up, copy this, and then go to Etherscan, if you go to Etherscan and put this address in, you can see that we've actually titled this as Roobet's biggest whale. Again, what's important here, all right, to really understand, and we found out this is a whale because when you put in Roobet's hot wallet account, which is OXC94EBB328, again, this is OXC94.
I wonder how Nelk and Steve will respond.
Almost a million transactions. This is the wallet
that's the way to win. You just don't, and then people forget.
When I'm depositing money, and then
they'll just defend you for you,
money, not really deposit.
Like in the chat tonight.
But of course, when I look
just let your community do your job.
Outputting to in the largest quantity is
OXC94EBB.
Sorry, to OXE6752 D54. That's where the Roobet hot wallet is sending the largest amount of Ethereum to. And again, you can go into the system here, you can basically grab this, you can copy the address like this, go back to Etherscan, throw it into the search, and you've seen that we've titled it as Roobet's biggest whale. So again, let's go back and go to the second one, which is OX68DC.
Didn't Steve scrub his YouTube account? Did he? I don't know. I don't watch Steve. Let's see.
Graph.
All right.
Warning.
He's got 96 videos. He's doing just fine. Look how happy he looks. That's the face of a man who loves Roobet. Buying the guy who killed Osama bin Laden a truck. Nice. Fucking lit.
So again, if we copy this address, we go to Ethereum scan, we paste the same address in there, you can see that now we have Roobet's biggest whale and Roobet's second largest whale. Now, what's really fucking wild in this is where some of these accounts connect to. So one of the examples that we're actually going to be using that actually plays a key role in tying all of this together in part 6, the finale, will be phasebanks.ethereum. Now, phasebanks Ethereum, if you go in, you can type in phasebanks.eth, And this belongs to our buddy FaZe Banks. It's a public-facing wallet, which currently has $207,000 put into it.
Not bad.
Again, you can see that it is FaZeBanks.Ethereum. So it's a wallet that is public, you know.
Can I read that comment real quick? We're just gonna let that slide. One guy left a comment on this. Why is there even a comment feature? Who would use this? Ricky G, been a huge fan. Hook me up. Hey, Juliano. I don't think he's gonna be doing that. But Godspeed.
You can see that it is FaZeBanks.Ethereum. So it's a wallet that is public. You know, FaZe Banks has said that this is his wallet. Now, if you go to transactions, let's look at who gave FaZe Banks the first chunk of money into his account.
Easy tier 1 lizard.
If you go all the way to
Blake
the
and
first
Tsukiyomi.
what is that? Roobet's second largest whale. So to understand, Roobet's hot wallet, which is putting the second largest amount of its transactions to the whale here, that's the first transaction that our buddy FaZe Banks gets. Now, what does FaZe Banks do? Again, let's translate this to actual UTC time. He gets this on the February the 25th, right? So around midnight UTC. In less than 20 minutes after receiving money from Roobet's second largest whale, FaZe Banks sends out money to the contract for CryptoPunks. I think that's the actual like C token, the contract for it. OpenSea registering, you know, the actual name over here. So and then he gets another amount. So Roobet's second largest whale then sends money to FaZe Banks, who in less than 10 minutes later funnels it more into CryptoPunks.
Man, what the fuck?
So, and this isn't small
Howie.
amounts either.
Send something my way. Let's go. Let's go, Howie.
Was $58,000. Currently
Sending
worth almost
$50K for
$130,000.
nothing?
This second transaction is almost fucking double, 62 Ethereum. You click on that shit, and that's almost 100. That's 111 grand on the day of its transaction. Currently 204,000. Now, why would FaZe Banks receive money from the second largest whale of Roobets? If you look at the money flow, and then immediately after start purchasing CryptoPunks, and then I don't know. I mean, you know, if you promoted them on Twitter and they messed up in value, like I don't know. It's a weird coincidence. Am I right or am I right? I also love how when I got quipped at on August 23rd by him on Twitter, somehow when you look at his blockchain, he's selling this stuff around that same date, like these same offer punks for sale, offer punk for sale, offer punk for sale. Definitely during its peak mania. I don't know why that is. I mean, if you believe in a project, don't you want to hold on to these beauties? What's also interesting is you can take FaZe Banks' account, OX7D, you can go right back to the actual BitQuery, you can drop that in, and what's actually even more wilder is if you look at the money flow to this account, you look at the sand key again to just see where the money is flowing in and out of. Ignore this CryptoPunk cyclical ladder. This is OX7D, Banks' wallet. Banks' wallet receives the largest amount from OX68 DCEC.
Howie.
Who the fuck is that? Well,
it's Howie. It's Howie.
OX68 DCEC is again Roobet's second largest
baby.
whale, right? So wait a minute.
Go.
Wait a minute. The most money he's getting is from the second largest whale for Roobet? Kind of weird. This account, OXC94EBB, if you take this in, go back to Ethereum scan, drop that in, belongs to the Roobet hot wallet. So the two accounts that give Banks the most money is from the Roobet hot wallet, which again he has a partnership with, but the first transaction is from the account that's the second largest whale. So what Roobet's hot wallet is transacting to, the second largest account. All right, the second largest transaction flow. And also, to remember, the second largest whale suspiciously did deposit into the intermediary wallet for Doom 13. Again, could just be the most likeliest of coincidences. From the Roobet hot
I don't really know how
wallet,
Doom 13 fits into this, I'll be honest. Seems like a worthless side character.
CryptoPunks are being bought. Listen, I'm done with this, okay? I'm not going to jump too hard down this rabbit hole yet. Because the reason I mention any of this is these transactions, FaZe Banks' account specifically, not any other account from FaZe, just specifically FaZe Banks and various other users like Alan, because we've ended up tracing down what we believe to be his wallet. These are going to play key roles.
Yeah, there's 6 parts to this, I believe.
This video. The only reason
not
I'm
out yet, though.
them is to really show you how deep and interconnected this all becomes.
Primatsu.
LA, there's something in that water, bucko. There's something over in LA that causes everyone to somehow be involved with one another in ways that you probably shouldn't. But ladies and gentlemen, this is a look at how Roobet was operating. So we wanted to really build a sort of understanding of how Roobet, specifically, you put money into it, how the site in the back end we believe to operate, how these influencers apparently, from what it seems like, aren't actually putting their own money into, in fact, are just playing with house money, while at the same time peddling a vice to their audience, getting them to funnel money in, and basically, I guess, if you looked at the way the affiliate system worked, made money, cream on top of whatever money they're being paid. It's a fucking shady, skeezy business to get into. And then when you look at who these wallet accounts are transacting to and where the money is flowing, then the picture starts to become clear.
And it's a great picture.
Ladies and
A
gentlemen,
masterpiece,
I'm going to tie this
even.
video off and lead you hopefully into the next video done by my good friend CoffeeZilla. So if you want to check this out, go over to his channel. Part 3 will be coming out very shortly after this video. And that part will look further into the sketchy game.
Not soon enough, though. This is a really interesting one because of how much money it is. I think this is, if I could be wrong, I think this is, what, double what CSGO Lotto was? CSGO Lotto, I still believe, is the biggest influencer-led scam. CSGO Lotto, I think, in total was like, what did they get, like 10, 15 million or something? This one's significantly more. These are tier 1 magnets. And this was boring. I don't know how people find that boring. I mean, I guess if you really don't care about scams, it's not fun, but I find it so fascinating. I love learning about that shit. I think it's fucking great. Thanks to Prime, Codice. And thanks to Resub Cinder. Well, everyone who was involved in CSGO Lotto is still making content. What do you mean, man? Like I said, people don't care about getting scammed. They don't. You could go back in the VOD and read chat. They don't care about getting scammed. Everyone who got fucked in the ass by CSGO Lotto is still watching those same content creators. Some of them are still streaming on Twitch. Others still on YouTube. Like, I mean, it is what it is, man. Thanks to Resub Van Ray and Nashty. I just like learning about it. Sending a quick text message. Okay, not back. Abdul the